Hello and welcome to this quick pitch video on Robustel's new and unique zero-touch provisioning capability in Robustel's RCMS cloud platform. So today we're going to be inside the platform itself, just demonstrating the features, exactly the kind of thing that our customers are doing and will be doing. So we're going to try and be quite quick, quite direct here. So the first thing we need to think about is how is the account set up? So let's just give a little bit of background. So we have 3 devices, one in the UK, one in Hungary, one in Australia, and they are on 4G, Ethernet, and Wi-Fi. So we want to demonstrate that it doesn't matter the bearer. We can do this provisioning over any type of internet connection. So we have WAN DHCP, WLAN DHCP, and WWAN 1. So we go to the zero touch section, then we create a template, and this is really at the heart of the process. So you would choose a suitable name. Now think about date and time stamps, think about projects. A really useful name at the front end can make a big difference to how you subsequently manage and revision control your templates. You have RobustOS or RobustOS Pro, depending on the operating system. So things like the LoRaWAN gateway or the voice gateway. More recent products, some of which will use RobustOS Pro. We can pick a product, so the R1520. We can pick a firmware. Now that's something worth thinking about, that we recommend that our customers put together a nice stable stack of firmware, of applications, of config, test it well in the target environment, and you can design in stability by doing that. And then if there's new features, maybe in 6 months or a year, that you want in your setup, something new in RCMS maybe, then of course you can repeat the process. So we may want some particular applications. Now, remember, some of the very low-cost devices from Robustel, the R1510, R1520, they're designed to be ultra-low cost. So the amount of flash and RAM available in those is limited. So what we do is we just have a repository of things that you might want. So maybe you want SNMP v3 and edge to cloud Modbus applications. That's where you would choose them. Apologies. We then have the config file. So just light that up again. Device firmware, device applications. There. And then we can add a config file into the mix as well. So that would be a whole consideration in terms of creating that config file, and Robustel's team are always around to help you do a config review, make sure what you've built is going to be reliable, scalable, cyber secure. There's a lot to think about, and you can put a logo and notes in there. So that's the template built. We then want to apply the template. So in this environment, we can take that type of device. So this is per device. So a template is for example, R1520s. We can take that, and then there's a really nice mechanism here where you can sort by serial numbers, by groups. There's very flexible application of the actual template itself. Then you would click through, and then you can either do it immediately or you can schedule the update. So at that stage, when you apply to the devices, when you actually commit that, you'll see there is the option to use what you can see here is the RobustOS template or the RobustOS Pro template. This is where it gets really interesting, because the time-consuming element provisioning is not necessarily when everything's the same, it's when everything's different. So this is the variable parameter template. And in V1, which is where we are now, with zero touch, I mean, there's some very interesting ideas coming down the path very soon with this, as I'm sure you can understand. But we have a list of serial numbers, maybe 100, 1,000, whatever it might be. And then these parameters through this spreadsheet can all be on a per device basis. So maybe you want 2.4 gig SSID, so you want the Wi-Fi enabled, but you want unique network names and passwords. There may be WAN parameters or connection parameters that you want unique as well. And one of the really nice inclusions in V1 is if you're one of our Modbus edge to cloud users, something that's growing very quickly, you can actually put the point table in there. So how you read those Modbus sensors and instruments, which registers, something that can otherwise be quite complex to manage, you can now manage at scale very quickly and easily. So that's the variable device template. And once you've made the request, so you see here the requested date is the probably is the dominant variable, because that's when the request went through. You can then sit there and wait, and if it's an immediate update, in all the testing we've done, typically a couple of minutes, depending on the config. But of course, if it's a scheduled update, it can take much longer. But the nice thing is you get a very clear picture of this is the request, this is the outcome. And you can filter by, we can filter by the template, by the model number, by who actually did the work. And final thing to mention is embedded within the results section here, there is the actual details of what happened during that transfer. Let's just see if we can find one, a little bit more information. So here we go. So in this example, the firmware was updated, the RCMS app was updated, and the zero touch password config.xml, so the particular config was there, and that is also hyperlinked, so you can see at source when you're going through when you may be trying to fault find any problems. That's all there at source. So that was just a quick whistle-stop tour of zero touch. That can hopefully help you to get devices provisioned, either ones that are in the field already, or if you're on the bench, you have an Ethernet connection through a switch. You can use this as a gang or batch provisioning tool as well. So lots of great features. It's all Microsoft Azure based. It uses Microsoft Azure blob objects, so it's within a very well defined and secure framework. And the scope now, all of the plumbing and the framework is in place. The scope here is really exciting. So expect the updates to the per device template to be coming thick and fast. And of course, if you have a significant project, there's something you particularly need, there's no need to wait. We write the code for the router, we write the code for the cloud platform. So in major projects, it can be adapted to anything you might need. So that's all for now on Zero Touch. Thank you very much for your time. Bye for now.